This is Sindham Patel and welcome back to the video lecture series of the fundamentals of machine design. In this lecture, we will see the few shaft examples with the previous concepts that we have already discussed in the previous lecture. So if I recommend each and every students to refer the previous lecture of the shaft in which we have discussed the design procedure of the shaft, different equations that can be utilized for this lecture, and if you do not know those equations, then it will be difficult for you to understand those equations, because we are going to directly bring some equations from the last lecture, and that's why I recommend each and every one students to go refer the previous lecture first. So the shaft examples are basically asked in your examination into the 7 marks, and that's why it is very important to cover those examples. First example is on your screen, where you will see the data as a line shaft rotating at 200 RPM is to transmit the 20 kilowatt. So the RPM is provided, and the RPM can be denoted as a N notation. So we have written N equals to 200 RPM. Power to be transmitted is given as a 20 kilowatt, which is nothing but the 20 into 10 raised to 3 watt. We have converted into the watt. The shaft may be assumed to be made up of the mild steel with allowable shear stress of 42 megapascal. So the shear stress for the shaft is 42 megapascal, which is nothing but the 42 Newton per mm square. So they determine the diameter of the shaft, neglecting the bending moment on the shaft. So they have already written into the data that you have to neglect the bending moment into the shaft. Then you must go with the only twisting moment effect of the shaft. And if you are considering only twisting moment, first you need to consider or determine the twisting moment or the torque that is required to be transmitted using the shaft. So the twisting moment can be calculated in the multiple ways, but whenever the power and the RPM are provided in the given data, then you must go with the equation that is T equals to P into 60 upon 2 pi n. In this equation, you will have to just insert the value of the P that is provided into the given data, and you will have to enter the value of N that is also provided into the given data. By the calculation, you will get the answer as a 955 Newton into meter. Now here comes the very tricky part, because this answer comes into the Newton into meter. We need to convert it into the Newton into mm. Why we need to convert it into Newton into mm? Because our final answer and each and every stresses will be in terms of the mm, and that's why each and every unit must contain the mm instead of the meter. So in order to convert the meter into mm, you can directly write it as a 10 raised to 3 in the multiplication with the answer. So if you multiply 10 raised to 3 with the 955, then your unit will be converted into Newton into mm in place of the Newton into meter. Now we will see another step that is required to calculate the diameter of the shaft or for the design of the shaft. So we know the equation of the torque transmitted T, that is equals to pi by 16 pi upon 16 into tau d cube into tau into d cube, diameter cube. This was the equation which we have already derived in the previous lecture, and using this equation we are going to derive the diameter. We are going to calculate the diameter of the shaft. So for this particular equation, we know the value of the torque that is to be transmitted using the shaft, that is 955 into 10 raised to 3 is equals to pi by 16 into tau into d cube. Now in this equation we know the value of tau, that is 42, and if you know the value of tau, then the only one term is required to be calculated, that is the d cube. If you make the d cube as a subject and take the cube root of this answer, then you will get the answer of the diameter d, that is 48.7, and we can say it as a 50 mm. That is the final answer of the example. So we were asked to find out the diameter of the shaft, and we have calculated the diameter of the shaft using the basic equation that we have already derived in the previous lecture. So we are going to see another example so that you can have the clear idea regarding this. in those examples there are multiple ways to twist the method or the given data in order to confuse the students, and that's why I recommend each and every students to practice these types of examples as much as you can, because the practice will make you experienced for different methods that is to be used in your examples. Okay, so first this example is explained over here to clear out your perspective regarding the example. That is, find the diameter of the solid steel shaft to transmit the 20 kilowatt at 200 rpm. Again, the power to be transmitted is 20 kilowatt and the rpm required is 200 rpm. The ultimate shear stress for the steel may be taken as a 360 megapascal. So the ultimate shear stress is provided. So ultimate shear stress can be represented by the tau u in suffix u, that will be 360 megapascal, and that is 360 Newton per mm square, because megapascal is nothing but the Newton per mm square. So a factor of safety of 8 is required. So if you are considering the factor of safety of 8, then you must calculate the allowable shear stress using that factor of safety. So we will see that particular step in a while. Hollow shaft is to be used in place of the solid shaft. First we need to calculate the diameter of the solid shaft, then they have considered another case of the hollow shaft. Find the inside and outside diameter when the ratio of the inside to outside diameter is 0.5. So whenever the 0.5 ratio is there for the inside to outside diameter, then they require a design of a hollow shaft in place of the solid shaft. So first step that we need to do is to find out the allowable shear stress for the material from the factor of safety. So factor of safety is 8 and allowable shear stress can be calculated using this equation, that is the maximum stress upon factor of safety, and by the simplification you will get the answer of the 45 Newton per mm square. Now the diameter of the solid shaft is assumed to be d, and in order to calculate the diameter you need a torque that is to be required to transmit it, and torque is required as a torque T can be calculated from the equation of the power, that is P equals to 2 pi nt by 60. If you make the T as a subject, then your equation will be P into 60 upon 2 pi n. Now put the value of power that was provided in the given data and n, that is 200, and if you put all these answers, then you will get the answer as a 955 Newton into meter. Again, this answer comes out to be in a Newton into meter. We need to convert it into the Newton into mm by the multiplication of 10 raised to 3. So if you multiply it with the 10 raised to 3, you will get the answer in Newton into mm, which is required. If you put this value of the torque in the equation of the design of the shaft, then you will get the final equation like this, and from this you will be able to calculate the diameter of the shaft. Again, up to this the example was somewhat similar like the previous example, so there was no need to explain each and every step, and that's why we have gone through very in speed. But the only thing that was required to be taken care is this shear stress, allowable shear stress that is required to be calculated from the factor of safety. So we will see another case of the example of the same example, that is the hollow shaft. If the hollow shaft is to be used in place of the solid shaft, then let the inner diameter, that the inside diameter of the hollow shaft is di and the outside diameter of the hollow shaft is do. Then your equation for the hollow shaft can be written like this, and if you write this equation, then the value of the k can be considered from the given data as a 0.5. And if you put each and every value, then the do cube will be the only unknown from this equation. If you calculate the value using the cube root, then do answer would be 48.6 or 50 mm. And from this answer you can easily calculate the di, that is the inside diameter of the shaft, that is 0.5 times do, and it will give you the answer as a 25 mm. So you need to calculate the separate equation for the hollow shaft and for the solid shaft. You cannot go with the same diameter of the solid shaft for the calculation of the hollow shaft. So this was the end of our example number 2. Now we will see another example number 3. The data is on the screen already. The line shaft is driven by means of the motor placed vertically below it. So a line shaft is driven with the motor which is placed below it, and that's why the pulley on the shaft is 1.5 meter in diameter. So if the pulley is utilized, then there must be a belt which is wrapped on the pulley, and if your motor is below the shaft, then both the belt must go vertically downside in order to rotate the shaft in any direction. So the diameter is 1.5 and has the belt tension 5.4 on 1.8 on the tight side and the slack side of the belt respectively. So there are two different tensions which are provided into given data, that is the tight side tension and the slack side tension. Both these tension may be assumed to be vertical, and it must be vertical because your motor is just below the shaft, that was already provided. If the pulley be overhung from the shaft, that distance from the center line of the pulley from the center line of the bearing A being 400 mm. So the distance for the pulley and the bearing is given. The pulley is overhung from the bearing, and that's why we consider bearing as a support and the pulley as a load. Then it constitutes a cantilever beam mechanism for the shaft. Find the diameter of the shaft assuming the maximum allowable shear stress as a 42 megapascal. So 42 megapascal shear stress is given. Now consider this diagram for the calculation of the example. As you can see, the distance between the bearing and the pulley center line is 400 mm. The load of the bearing is W, that is to be supported by the shaft. The load is in terms of the T1 and T2 tensions, and they have not provided the weight of the shaft, and that's why we will consider it as a neglected. Now in order to calculate the torque for this particular case, we will utilize this equation, that is T1 minus T2 into R. Now if you have the value of the T1 and T2, if you have the value of the R, then you will be easily able to calculate the torque to be transmitted as a 2700 into 10 raised to 3 Newton into mm converted. So now neglecting the weight of the shaft, the total vertical load acting on the pulley is W equals to T1 plus T2. Now we know the value of the load that is to be supported by the shaft. Then we can directly calculate the bending moment that is required to be supported by the shaft. Now the bending moment can be calculated using the basic equation or the basic concept of the moment, that is nothing but the force into perpendicular distance. Now we know this force goes into the vertically downward direction and the perpendicular distance is 400. That's why your bending moment will be 7200 into 400. And that's why your final answer comes out to be the 2880 into 10 raised to 3 Newton into mm. The diameter of the shaft in mm can be calculated using the equivalent twisting moment equation. Whenever your shaft is rotating along with the support support provided in the bending, the equivalent twisting moment must be calculated using this equation of the under root m square plus t square. Now we have the value of m square and we have the value of t square, then we will be able to calculate the equivalent twisting moment. Once the equivalent twisting moment is calculated, then this value is directly inserted into the equation of the design of the shaft. If you put this value in the equation of the shaft and if you put the value of the shear stress, then your answer comes out to be in terms of the d cube. By taking the cube root, you will be able to calculate the diameter of the shaft as a 78 mm or 80 mm in a standard dimensions. So this was the end of our examples. Different types of the examples can be asked in your examination into the 7 marks. We have seen very few methods for the examples of the shaft. Many type of examples can be asked in your examination with the different concepts and different methods. So I recommend each and every students to practice as much as you can and utilize the equation and the concepts that we have covered in the previous theoretical lectures, so that you can have the clear understanding about the each and every step, and you don't have to mug up the values of you don't have to mug up the procedure of the shaft. So we will see few more examples and methods and chapters in the upcoming lectures. We conclude this lecture over here. Thank you.